Good morning, guys. It's Dr. Murphy with Murphy Medical Associates and our team at coronatestct.com. You are watching Murphy's Medical Minute. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you taking some time this morning to hang out with me. Today's date is March 5th, 2021. That's 2021. Nearly 1 year ago today, we were preparing our battle against the novel coronavirus. Today on Murphy's Medical Minute, we're going to talk about what we're going to do at our year anniversary. Most importantly, we're going to talk about the implications of opening up. That's right. Open up, say in some states, rip that mask off because magically coronavirus is disappearing. No, it's not. But it's worth a try. You're watching Murphy's Medical Minute. Hey, what's going on? So I wanted to do a couple of things here this morning, some sort of housekeeping, if you will. I'm working on trying to get a daily newscast going on with a quick snippet of daily news, daily information that pertains to medicine as a whole. One of the big things I think we've been guilty of is over-covering the novel coronavirus. And frankly, that's because our team at coronatestct.com has been dedicated, laser-like focused in covering novel coronavirus. In addition to this, one of the things we've been dedicated to is testing, treating, isolating, and tracing, and now vaccinating. That's right. We've put in our orders and we sit here waiting to get vaccines so we can distribute it in Connecticut and New York. Very important states for us as we continue to test and treat there. But as we get ready to do all these things, we have to be really mindful. One of the most important things I can go over here with you is the importance of having a good vaccination strategy before we open the gates and let everyone back into Disneyland. Woo! Let's go, Disneyland! We have to be serious here and we have to be mature about it. And frankly, I think that we are in a position right now where we could ease some of the restrictions. But that leaves us precariously at risk of a couple of things I'll show in a little bit. But first, here's the plan. Okay, Stan, here's the plan. We have a couple of different states. We've got Connecticut and we've got New York. In Connecticut, we are going to open up 2 days. That's 2 days after St. Patrick's Day. So the weekend of St. Patrick's Day, Connecticut will be opening up a whole host of different things. Food and drink, restaurant dining, time to get back to the bars, time to get some personal care done, go back to church. There is going to be a significant loosening of restrictions, but there won't be a restriction of the mandatory mask order. There won't be a mandatory mask order removal like there is deep in the heart of Texas. So people are going to be wearing their masks. They're going to have to. I don't know about you, but whenever I tell my teenager what to do, they do the opposite, right? They do the opposite. So to tell people they're going to have to wear a mask in a bar when they are drunk or when they are under the influence of other toxic substances is a fool's errand. But hey, why not? Let's try it. Let's see what's going on. In addition to that, we have New York over here who at first said, whoa, wait a second. What are you guys in Connecticut doing? The New Yorkers are going to flood the zone in Connecticut, come up and have a drink or two, maybe go to the casino, and then they're going to come back in New York and bring what you got. Well, what do we have going on in Connecticut? We have a healthy dose of B117 variant in New Haven County. A healthy dose of B117 in New Haven County. Well, what is New York going to bring to Connecticut? A healthy dose of B1526. Now, interestingly enough, most B1526 now is concentrated in a certain neighborhood in New York City. A neighborhood in New York City. That can all change at a moment's notice, especially if you lift restrictions. And like I said, New York here is going to lift their restrictions on March 22nd, 5 days after St. Patrick's Day. All right, I'm ready in my green. Are you ready in your green? Last year on St. Patrick's Day, it was awful because we were just literally no more than, what, a week into this pandemic? Oh, we were a week into testing, and everyone was devastated because they were going to have a fantastic St. Patrick's Day. Well, it appears that Connecticut and New York are waiting, time out, sit down right there. They're waiting until after St. Patrick's Day to begin loosening their restrictions. The loosening in Connecticut is bigger than the loosening in New York. It's going to be a bigger loosening in Connecticut than in New York. Well, one of the reasons I talked with you about my concern here, it put simply, is when you look at the Wadsworth data, right? This is the Wadsworth data showing that about 1 in 4 of their genomic samples are carrying the EEK484K mutation. The EEK484K mutation. That's a significant mutation. We've gone over it before. We've talked about it multiple times. EEK helps evade immunity. E484K, the mutation found in the receptor binding domain of the spike protein, the receptor binding domain of the spike protein is enabling vaccine evasion. It's enabling vaccine evasion, and we've seen that in the South African variant. Well, why not open up? Why not open up? Let's see how bad this variant can be. Now, don't get me wrong. I certainly can advocate for the fact that economies are getting crushed. Wait a second. The jobs number just came out today, and it's through the roof. It's twice the expectation. So our economy is dying, so we have to open up. The numbers don't show that. The numbers show that jobs are going up. The numbers show that jobs are going up. The numbers also show that the variants are going up. And below me, right here, you can see not just the Wadsworth data over here, but below me, right here, you can see the percentage of B117 at a major Connecticut health institution. At a major Connecticut health institution, right below me, right at Grace New Haven Hospital, now called Yale New Haven Hospital. Well, at Grace New Haven, guess what's going on? Boop, boop, boop. Oh, sorry. I'll go boop, boop, boop. It's coming up. It's coming up. Big, big, big problem. We're seeing a huge spike in the number of cases of B117 tested at Grace New Haven Hospital. Right, Grace New Haven Hospital up there in New Haven, Connecticut, where we have an office. So the big issue that I see in all of this is B117 is going to dominate New Haven County. B117 is going to dominate New Haven County. But what's going to happen in Fairfield County, Connecticut? In Fairfield County, Connecticut, you're going to get a fight between B117 and B1526. And I believe that those two variants will fight each other. The big concern I have, we know the B1526, that's the New York City variant that appears to have mutations in all the wrong places. It appears to have mutations in all the wrong places. And B117, which we're seeing in New Haven County, has the Nervous Nelly mutation, which enables it for more infectiveness. Now, Nate Grubau's lab, Dr. Grubau's lab, working with the NBA, has found that the reason why these patients may be more infectious with the UK variant put simply, is that they're longer, right? What they found with the NBA players that had the virus, they're longer. They have it longer. And that's no pun on the J&J data. That's no pun on the J&J data. You won't see that here. But it appears that the NBA players that had the novel coronavirus had it longer. Maybe that was the reason why they are more infectious. But the real question is, why? Why did they have it longer? When a virus can be in your system longer, it makes me wonder whether there's an immune response change, whether they're inhibiting your immune response. It also makes me wonder whether the virus is getting better at hiding in our body. It also makes me wonder if it's getting better at infecting more cells, and there's higher viral load. So we're researching that right now relative to the B117, the variant isolated in the UK initially. So we're evaluating that. Right now we know the following. Connecticut and New York are opening up. They are loosening restrictions. And I think that's a terrible idea right now, with all due respect to any of the policy decision makers going on right now. I think it's a terrible mistake. That being said, City of New Haven has a massive budget deficit. Even though they've got a billion-dollar university, multi-billion-dollar university endowment in their town, and a multi-billion-dollar health system in their town, the city can't make ends meet. So I recognize that people are choosing wealth over health. But I can't put two and two together with that, because the jobs report says that numbers are going up. There are more people getting jobs. More people getting jobs. So if more people are getting jobs, what's really going on with this economy? I don't really know. That's why the policymakers do what they do. But if they're going to say to me that they need to open up, otherwise the economy is destroyed, they need to show more data. Because right now, here's the data I see. Grace New Haven Hospital, 1 in 4 samples that they test genomically are positive for the UK variant. 1 in 4. And not just that. At Columbia, in their biobank, 25% of their samples are testing positive for the B1526 variant in the last month. That's 1 in 4 as well. This is insane. It's insane. In my mind, what I think we're doing is numbers look better. Never mind the fact that we're still not below where we were in the summertime, but numbers are trending down. Hospitalizations are down, which is a lagging indicator. So let's open up. Why? Because we have to choose health over wealth. Oh, no. They're choosing wealth over health. And to me, that's plain insane. That's insane. So really, if you want to get back at this and we want to talk about what's going on here, and just as a quick primer again to review for everyone, I don't know, you see my cool little catchy logo back there? Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Right there. See the little logo? The little guy. Zen Group. How? So, I will tell you how. There is a series of mutations that happen on this protein being the spike protein. Now, what's interesting about this is a lot of the vaccines are basing all of their strategy around the spike protein, The strategy that Johnson & Johnson's and Novavax have gone with, and also Moderna, is to alter the spike protein. Alter the spike protein through their mRNA or their DNA construct differently than what Pfizer has done. For a reminder to everyone, the spike protein is the receptor binding domain, right? That's the hand that grabs you, right? That's the hand that grabs you, pulls you in. And the N-terminal domain, right? You can see that salmon-colored thing there. That's the N-terminal domain. And so mutations in those changes, mutations in those amino acids, genetic changes leading to amino acid changes, can affect your ability to escape to escape vaccination. And in this case, we've seen it already. We have a really good bead on the Pfizer vaccine. Now remember what I said. The Pfizer vaccine chose a spike protein moiety that is different, that is totally different from the moiety used with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Total different moiety than the one used from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and a totally different protein moiety, right? What you had here was you inserted a couple of prolines to stabilize the spike protein in a conformation that would be stable enough to build an immune response. Pfizer didn't do that. And as we can see here in the Pfizer data, preliminary laboratory data, that the blood from Pfizer vaccinated patients did not effectively reduce the South African variant. Did not effectively reduce the South African variant. It didn't neutralize it. And it did a poor job of neutralizing the Brazilian variant. Well, I'm here to tell So what we're seeing is that we have a vaccine escape. Sorry, I had a little loss in my audio capture, and I don't quite know why I had a loss in the audio capture. I got to figure that one out. Got to figure out why I had a loss in the audio capture here. But it appears to me that I lost our audio capture. So that's fine. I'll work through the audio now, because we had a little outage of the camera, and luckily I'm the guy that is going to be able to I'll fix the problem. Call it a day. Fix the problem. Nothing crazy. So we've managed to fix the problem here, and we'll be back on the running. So, where was I? Put simply, I was talking about the fact that the South African variant can escape. That the South African variant can escape. And that escape is also, I believe, based on the preliminary data, it makes a good hypothesis that needs to be tested, that the New York variant is going to escape Pfizer vaccination. Now, what's important about this is we are trying to get everyone vaccinated prior to massive opening up back to normalcy. Prior to. Why? Because we know that these new variants are growing. I already showed you this, right? I already showed you that the new variants are growing. Below me at Grace New Haven Hospital in New Haven, B117 is growing. B117 is growing. It's about 25% of their total cohort now of testing. In addition to that, I also told you about Wadsworth's data, right, over here in New York. New York's data, Columbia's data, over in Washington Heights, Columbia's data in New York City is showing in their biobank that their most recent month of testing in February, 25% of their samples, 1 in 4, were of the New York City B1526 variant that has the exact same mutation that the Brazilian variant and the South African variant have, E484K. E484K. So we're going to open up, we're going to let people carry on life as if it's normal. With masks in Connecticut, with masks in New York, and the way that they're going, they said triple mask, quadruple mask. Just get a good fitting mask. Get a good fitting mask. That's all that I ask. Just get a good fitting mask. Make sure it's a valid mask. Because when I open up, we're going to have a horrible bit of genomic surveillance. We're going to have a horrible bit of genomic surveillance. Kids are going to go back to school. They're already in school. Kids are going to go on break. They're going to come back from school. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen? They are going to get infected. Now, we've seen the data on infection with kids. With the traditional variants, it's been low. With the traditional guidance, it's been low. However, I believe that unless we focus on ventilation, we're going to have a problem. Now, we know that household transmission really hasn't been that horrible a deal. 11 to 40% household transmission. But what I think is going to be really a telltale sign here, right? So here we are, we have above us this way, we have the genomic surveillance percentages. Very poor amount of percentage of our genomic surveillance. We will likely know more about genomic surveillance as President Biden's money goes in to enhance our genomic surveillance. But what I really want to show you, I really want you to pay attention to, is a new study that came out of Denmark. Right there. You see it, right there. You see that study right there? So that study says the following. The more kids you have in the household, the more likely you are to catch novel coronavirus in the household. The older the kids are, the more likely you are to catch novel coronavirus in your household. Household transmission is affected by the number of kids in the home and the age of those children. This is a duh moment, right? For those that are in the know, they'd say, duh, of course. And for those clinical doctors like myself who continue to take care of patients who are COVID positive in families, it's, oh no, oh no. Down, microphone's better, microphone's back up. All right, so as I said, sorry about the issue here. As I said quickly, and I'll wrap up here very short. Opening up is not a smart idea. Opening up's not a smart idea. Unless you want to open up a mask, right? So I didn't cover a mask the other day. I want to cover it quickly before I get out of here, right? This is a KN94 mask. I don't know if you guys can see this. KN94 mask. And it's got, I don't know if you can see that, it's serial number on there. So these are KN94 masks. These are very good masks. Hold the nose like this. Turn, right? You see how I'm turning? Right, you turn and put it on. I didn't cover these masks before. These masks are nearly as good as N95 masks, only if they're secure. You have to keep them secure on the sides. So if we're going to open up, we better open up the mask distribution. There's no other excuse here. There's no other excuse. We have to open up mask distribution. We have to. If we are going to, if we're going to survive this siege of variants, if we're going to survive the siege of variants, if we're going to survive people who are not going to wear masks, we have to open up mask distribution. We have to open up vaccine distribution. You see? It's got to be tight on you here. It's got to be tight. If it's not tight, it's not going to work. And if it's not open season on vaccines and mass distribution, opening up is not going to work. Today is March 5th, 2021. 1 year ago, we were making all the preparations to start coronatestct.com. I was staying up 24 hours a day, working on a website, securing supplies, because I knew we would be here today, March 5th, 2021. Did I expect it to last this long? Yes, I did. I read a book on the great influenza, so I was all too in tune with what's happening. Fatigue sets in rapidly at 6 months. We've been able to stave it off, but I don't think we can anymore. Put simply, we're going to get another wave if we continue this way. We're going to get another wave if we open up without opening up vaccine distribution and mass distribution. There's no excuse not to open those things up right now. We have to push very hard in doing it. It's a fool's errand to think that these little cloth masks are going to do anything. And telling people to wear 4 masks, it's foolish. Get everyone an N95. Get in everyone an N95. Get outside and exercise. Eat right. Get your sleep. Be good to each other. Because our bodies are made to be well. We have to take care of them. We have to take care of each other. Good luck with the open up. Mask up. Love you guys. It's Dr. Murphy, Murphy Medical Associates. We'll get through these variants, even though they're climbing, if we do it safely and we vaccinate appropriately. Nothing crazy about it. That's today's news. March 19th for Connecticut, March 22nd. With